The air hung heavy, thick with the stench of cigarettes and baijiu. Lao Zhang, a man who cast a long shadow in the neon-lit underworld, chuckled, the sound like gravel underfoot. He surveyed his domain, a dingy tea house, its corners shrouded in darkness. Across from him sat May, his wife, delicate as a porcelain doll. Her eyes, once sparkling with youthful naivety, now held a haunted look. She pushed away her untouched tea, the scent of jasmine, a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere. Their marriage had been one of convenience. He, a rising power in the city's underbelly, sought legitimacy. She, from a family fallen on hard times, sought security. But the wealth that lined their pockets and adorned her slender fingers felt like shackles, cold and unforgiving. Lao Zhang's empire was built on desperation. Young girls, lured from villages with promises of a better life, found themselves trapped in a web of deceit and exploitation. Their tears, their pleas for mercy, meant nothing to him. He had started small, a cog in a larger machine, but ambition, fueled by ruthlessness, propelled him. He learned to exploit weaknesses, to silence opposition, to become the spider at the center of his own web. Money flowed like the Huangpu River, washing away his guilt, his humanity. He saw himself as a provider, a man who gave these girls opportunities they wouldn't otherwise have. His conscience, he had long since buried. May couldn't ignore the whispers. They haunted her sleep, followed her like shadows. Whispers of young voices, choked with fear and despair. The weight of their suffering pressed upon her, suffocating her. She saw the fear in the eyes of the girls Lao Zhang brought home, their vacant stares, their bruised wrists. She heard their muffled sobs in the dead of night, their nightmares echoing her own. The opulent apartment they lived in felt like a gilded cage, each piece of expensive furniture a testament to unspeakable crimes. The luxury he offered felt like blood money staining her soul. The decision to betray him was a slow, agonizing one. Each day that passed, she felt the weight of complicity crushing her. She thought of her own family, of the values they had instilled in her, of the inherent goodness they believed resided in all. The fear was a living thing, coiling in her stomach, squeezing the air from her lungs. But stronger than the fear was the guilt, the gnawing knowledge that silence made her complicit.
One rainy afternoon, while Lao Zhang was away, I made the call. My voice shook as I spoke, the words tumbling out in a torrent of Mandarin. I knew then there was no turning back.
The raid was swift and brutal. Lao Zhang's empire, built on lies and suffering, crumbled like a paper tiger. He watched, disbelieving, as his men were rounded up, his carefully constructed world collapsing around him. His eyes, cold and calculating, finally registered betrayal when they landed on May. She stood at the edge of the chaos, her face pale, her eyes filled with a strange mix of terror and relief.
In that moment, I understood. The woman I had underestimated, the woman I thought I owned, had dealt the fatal blow. My empire, my wealth, my power meant nothing now. I was a spider caught in my own web.
The trial was a media sensation. Lao Zhang, stripped of his power and bravado, became a symbol of greed and depravity. He was sentenced to life in prison, his dark reign finally over. May's testimony was crucial in his conviction. She faced him in court, her voice trembling but unwavering. The guilt and fear remained, but so did a newfound sense of purpose.
The road ahead wouldn't be easy. I had betrayed a man I once called husband, a decision that would forever haunt me. But as I walked away from the courthouse, I knew I had chosen right. The whispers finally were silenced.